So one important point is about after-meal behaviors. I would say that if we take the evolution and biology, etc., we ingest and we consume food, so we have energy like to follow and complete our biological needs that we talked about. There are a couple of interesting studies that show that whenever a person after a meal has a habit to recline in the armchair or take a nap on their back, over time they might develop diabetes, you know?
And what is the connection there? I've never heard that.
I'll tell you. Over here you have a stomach. Just behind the stomach you have pancreas, and pancreas is the organ that produces insulin. Pancreas weighs just 80 grams, and the part that produces insulin weighs only 1.5 gram. And this 1.5 gram consumes 10 times higher at the energy level than other parts. It means that it's like very fragile if the energy like supply, if the blood supply happens. So the food in the stomach, it takes about 1.5 hours for the food to come through the stomach. So, and we could eat like up to 1 kilo or 2 kilos. So can you imagine a person that goes on their back like this? The pressure from the stomach applies against pancreas.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And you need like a stereotypical behavior, like 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, for many iterations, yeah, repetitions of this behavior for the problem to set in. You cannot kill all cells all at once, but step by step, like, for example, I became a pensioner, I have a habit to watch TV after my dinner, and I do it like this all the time, every single evening, you know? And that's how basically you have a risk to develop a diabetes. So there is such a notion as a digestive walking. And in German, they had like Motion, motion after a meal. They took like 30 to 1 hour just for gentle walking. And that's and that's very simple, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Yeah, and I could see how that, if that becomes a stereotype, then that can easily prevent that particular health outcome or that particular source of diabetes.
Yeah. Another thing is peptic ulcer disease. We live in conventional wisdom when we consider that the majority of cases are a result of bacteria called Helicobacter. Yeah, it's a very recent theory. There are many drawbacks of the theory as it doesn't explain the main concepts. Why ulcer, why at the same location, and why it happens. But there was a different study. Can you imagine, for example, if you take a stomach, it's fixated at the level of duodenum and at the level esophagus. The rest is like a bag. So whenever you have a replete stomach, replete with food, it's like 1 kilo or 2 kilos. So whenever a person with this kind of stomach takes position on their right side, so the stomach moves on the other hand, and basically there is a disruption in blood supply because you have like bending of the vessels. And you know, one part of the stomach has a very interesting like anatomy. It doesn't have collaterals in the supply. So basically, you disrupt blood supply, and this leads to ulcer formation, like a small one. Whenever a person takes the right side, they usually develop ulcers in their duodenum. Whenever a person after a meal has a habit to take to nap or whatever on their left side, they develop ulcers in their stomach.
And so would this be prevented once more by that half-hour, hour-long walk?
As long as you keep your like spine like vertical position and you don't have this behavior, you don't have this stereotype, you will not have this condition.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah, that's simple. And it's very easy to find a person like who has like peptic ulcer disease. You just ask question, which side do you prefer to take after a meal, right or left? And they start thinking. And by knowing which side they take, you might actually make a forecast what you will see on endoscopy, where the ulcer will be.
That's fascinating. I
Yeah.
was not aware.
Yep.